Yo, it's good. Skano. The Metro Atlanta family is looking for answers and justice. Um, in the wake of 25-year-old Amiya Cunningham from Metro Atlanta, you know, lost her life April 26th. The backstory regarding this. Now, she went out on the night of the 26th with a group of friends, so called friends. And they get to an establishment. You know, she has words. Now, there's three cars in his entourage, you know. So at some point, she had words with one or more of the women, you know, who was in this friend circle. And she decided to call it a night. She was ready, to bounce. And at which point, because she was riding with friends, but she didn't leave in the same vehicle that she came with. She came in. She ended up getting into the vehicle of the party that she had issues with. So right there, first of all, you know, that got my antennas up. I'm gonna tell you what I think happened, man. Well, let me finish. At some point, they take an exit, and now they're saying that the other two vehicles got off on the proper exit, but for whatever reason, the vehicle that she ended up getting into got off at the wrong exit. So make of that, whatever you will. So like I said, this occurred outside of Forest Park, Georgia, and Forest Parkway frontage road. It's the exit off I-75, and there's an intersection. Frontage and Parkway. That intersection is where this occurred. So at some point, when they got off the wrong exit, you know, they decided to pull over. At which point, Amaya exits the vehicle and she's dancing like in the middle of the intersection. Now there's not a lot of only it's like around midnight. There's no other vehicles in sight, but so she's in a 3-point stand. She's doing it, twerking, whatever you want to call it. A few moments later, the car she exited with her so-called friend runs her over. Runs her over, drags her body, X amount of feet, keeps it pushing. Leaves her there to die, you know. Now, this is caught on traffic cam. And that's the only way anybody would have known what happened to this girl. Now, they claim it's different narratives around this shit. Some of the I'm hearing that they weren't even aware they ran her over. This girl Alex, the driver, I'm hearing that it was an accident and she panicked and left the scene. So she ended up coming back to the scene, a couple hours later. At that time, Amaya had passed, or shortly thereafter. They're saying this is an accident. Now, there's been a big uproar in Atlanta, on social media. A lot of people are saying that, Metro Atlanta police is not handling this correctly. They're not, doing enough diligence, as far as uncovering what actually happened. They have the traffic cam footage. They're saying, though, that's not conclusively pointing towards this being intentional. But I'll tell you what, man. So, but like I said, this falls outside of Atlanta jurisdiction. This Forest Park, Georgia. Um, and like I said, a young black woman. I hate to sound cynical, but who knows, how strenuously they are going to, investigate this. I'm gonna tell you what I think really happened, and I think it's pretty obvious what happened. Maybe, like I said, I'm just cynical. Them women were jealous of her. I believe they got to this establishment. Amiya may have been garnering attention from other men. I mean, from men. I believe there was jealousy involved. I believe this was straight up a backdoor play. You know, you end up getting it. Now, from what I understand, these were not like people that she was very closely, like, they're like loose friends. I actually think that she knew they didn't like her. I'm gonna get to that, but flat out, I think they were jealous of her. They was hating on her. There was some animosity, which got, words got. They ran the play. They got her in the car with the chicks she had issues with, and coincidentally, the vehicle she ended up, getting into, but the same individuals that she just had smoke with, misses the exit. End off getting. I believe they knew this exit. This is like a middle of nowhere. It's an intersection, but it was like abandoned. You know what I'm saying? I believe they knew exactly where they were going. So at some point they pull over. She gets out the car and she starts dancing in the middle of this intersection. Like I said, there's no other oncoming traffic. It's like 12, midnight. Um, why did she get out that vehicle? Why? She could have been intoxicated. I think they jacked her up. They jacked her up, man. They convinced her to get out that car and twerk, dance, whatever, to run the play. I don't believe they even knew that Cam was there. You know, obviously. How could this be an accident? And if it was an accident, let me ask y'all something. I don't give a damn about the consequences. Somebody that a friend, a real friend, if this was an accident and you accidentally run over a friend, you keep going? What type of friend is that? You talking about, I panicked, consequences? I'm laying on the ground, bleeding out, body crushed, crumbled. Left this young lady crumpled on the ground like an old paper bag, bleeding out for hours. I don't know how long it was before she was even found. I don't know if they came back and found her and then called authorities. You know, that's some cold-blooded shit. So you waited a few hours, thinking she gotta be dead by now. You know. And you go back, to play the role or just to check on her, to check on her to see if she actually is dead. Because if she's not dead, obviously, you got problems. Because this was not an accident. But right now, that's what they're calling it. These girls plotted her. You know what I'm saying? They plotted her. And that's some cold-blooded shit right there, to run this girl over. For whatever, it had to be jealousy, hatred. I don't believe this was an accident. Not at all. The car was not moving. In fact, the lady is standing a few feet in front of the vehicle with her back turned. Her back is turned while she's dancing. Car rolls right over. How in the hell is that an accident? What were you doing that you didn't? You forgot your friend was like 5 feet in front of the car, and you bloom bloom, and you just keep. Come on, man, that's some cold-blooded shit right there. So, definitely a backdoor play, if you ask me. Spur of the moment type shit. You didn't think the shit through it all, But I believe they had issues with this girl way before this. And this is something I want to ask you women. Because this is prevalent in my experience with a majority of the women I've been associated with or I've known over the years, y'all like to hang around y'all haters. That's some weird shit, but that's pretty common with females. They will hang around other women they know do not like them, and y'all don't like, y'all don't like each other. You will go out with your haters and kick it. I never understood that. I've even asked women, like, why do you associate with that? You know she don't like you. She jealous of you. But I think it's something that gets, certain people, they like rubbing shit in their haters' faces, right? And what better way to rub it in your haters' face if y'all go out together and the man giving you all the attention? You know what I'm saying? You ain't gotta say nothing to her. You know she don't like you though. She know you don't like her. Or y'all don't click or whatever the situation. And it's a weird thing, man. But I found that this is really common with women, you know. And a lot of shit gets started behind so-called friends. Now we know how, as far as the gang related, street, you know, anything involving, so-called affiliates, associates, whatever you want to call them. If you want to call them friends, call them that. But them be the worst ones, right? But it don't just happen in the streets, So I believe that's exactly what happened here, though. And karma's a bitch. Now, like I said, they're calling this an accident. It could be a playoff, as far as the authorities. Just to kind of lull them into a false sense of security. Maybe they start texting shit. Law enforcement's slick, man. Slicker than these goofs, because if you if she gets off on this shit, I don't have to say, because it's quite clear to me that this was no accident, but like I said, man, associating with people that you know don't like you. So at some point during that night, I believe it was in the ride home, during the ride home, man, she texted her mother, she texted a family member. Don't quote me, I don't know if it was her mother, but it was a family member. She texted them during that ride and said the vibe, or before they left. At some point during the night, she texted someone and said the vibe is not right, it's off. I'm ready to get from around them. But it was, obviously too late. I don't know, man. Maybe I'm a cynic. It could be that I'm a cynic because I'm not buying the accident shit. I'm not. And I don't think it's coincidence that, come on, man, all this is just lining up like the back door. You get in the vehicle with the people that you had issues with, they missed the exit, get off somewhere else out in fucking nowhere, and this accident occurs. Some cold-blooded shit, man, right there. Damn, y'all hated her that bad. Jealousy is a mother, man. It is. And that's why I said in a prior vid, man, you gotta tuck your happiness. And it's a shame. It shouldn't be that way. You should be free to, live your truths. But man, you gotta stay low out here. And I don't mean duck and hide from, I'm just low key. The haters gravitate towards the light, man. People with darkness in their heart and their soul gravitate towards the light. Individuals that they could tell is different. They got something that, the haters don't have. And like I said before, haters, a lot of times, they'll hate on people that have less than them financially because it's not about that per se. It's something about you. They just don't like you. It's something about you. I've run across people like that all my life. So that's exactly what I believe happened. They murdered this young lady. I don't give a damn who, they murdered her. So you might slide on this, but like I said, karma's a bitch, man. I know. You may think you getting away with shit And it may be years, man. I'm telling you. And when it come back on you, your mind will speak to you. I don't, maybe it's God. Your mind will speak to you and say, see there? You thought you got away with that shit. It's happened to me. That's for sure. Maybe, it's just my own mind. But I do believe in karma, and I believe every dog has his day. And condolences to this young lady's family, man. It's a shame to lose your life like that. Like I said, run over like a damn stray dog. Actually, stray dogs get better treatment than that. I've seen people run over stray dogs and stop the vehicle. And these were not her friends. So, like I said, condolences to her family. Rest in peace, Amiya Cunningham. 216 Skano. You already know. Karma's a bitch.